In part 1 of Sentinels of the Future we said there would be some remarkable revelations in this next part, so we hope we don't let you down. Perhaps you already have some idea about what this presentation is going to relate to, as the original forward version only was called Aliens Will Meet Us. So if you do believe that, then you are correct, because this quantum reversal is going to relate to aliens as well. So you may find it interesting that a budgie, who is channeling the spiritual world, actually predicts some of these things. If you are here because of the religious aspect of this event, you may have trouble with this next part as it may challenge your beliefs. What you may need to understand is, God is not just the God of Earth, but the God of everything, including all planets and galaxies, as well as space and time. Most scientists agree that there are thousands, if not millions of planets that are capable of supporting life. There is also a growing movement that believes there are alien civilizations that are far more advanced, and even more spiritual than humans. Many of these civilizations are bound to believe in, and have the same God or spiritual beliefs as we do. If you support the idea that God works His miracles through people, and believe in aliens as well, then you should be open to the possibilities that God can create miracles between humanity and alien races, some of which have had a desire to help us throughout humanity's past, and show evidence of being far more advanced than us. It seems there is a vast amount of evidence that supports the concept that aliens have been visiting our planet for thousands of years. However, there is little recognized evidence to support what their true purpose is, and what they have done for humanity in the past. Much of what happened in the past has been hidden from us, and there are many things even now, that we are not told the truth about. Yet, with the internet, some of this information is available, and you just have to know where the reliable sources are to learn about it. In doing this, we have to be able to figure out what is and isn't real. So in the first part of this presentation, we're going to review a few things that we hope to find the truth about with the help of God and His angels. They are as follows. 1. Were there ancient civilizations, with advanced technologies, visiting Earth in the past? 2. Did giants really exist on Earth? 3. Are the elongated alien-type skulls they have found, in many parts of the world, evidence of alien visitations? 4. Are the videos and pictures of alien spaceships real? 5. Are out-of-place artifacts reliable enough to prove that advanced beings walked this Earth thousands of years ago? We're not going to get into these subjects in great detail, as there really is a ton of information in videos and pictures, on the internet. We do believe that some of the information provided is reliable enough to help us make a decision. What we will do is provide other evidence that God and the angels do support and recognize that alien life exists, allowing many religions who outright reject it to be more acceptive towards it. We will start with point 1, alien civilizations. It truly seems that there is abundant evidence of advanced technologies in the past that even exceed our abilities today. The real question is, why is it rejected by mainstream archaeologists? Were some of these ancient civilizations' technologies alien-related, or were the megalithic structures humanity evolving in technologies at rates that far exceed what we have been taught in history books? For example, Baalbek in Lebanon, a more modern civilization believed to be the Romans, built on top of these 800-ton stones, which were lifted 20 feet off the ground, when they were put there possibly thousands of years ago. To this day, they don't know how they did it, and the rocks are so precise, you can't even insert a dime between the cracks. These H-blocks, in Pumapuku, South America, are supposedly over 2,000 years old, but scientists really don't know how they were created with the tools they had back then. Even engineers today say they don't have the technology to create the preciseness and smoothness equal to these sculptured rocks nowadays. Not to mention how they transported these 10-ton rocks from the quarry they came from, almost 20 miles away. This is Göbekli Tepe, in southeastern Anatolia, Turkey, which is approximately 12,000 years old, featuring remarkable animal art. It is the oldest of temples found in the world so far. This was built 7,000 years before Stonehenge, and supposedly way before hunter-gatherers reached the age of settlements. Even though archaeologists have known about it for at least 20 years, the history has just recently began to come out to the mainstream. Prior to this discovery, archaeologists never thought that hunter-gatherers would come together to make megalithic structures like this. There is even strong evidence of a religious belief system that resembles some of the religions of today. There even seems to be evidence of humans walking on Earth with shoes that have many of the same features of the shoes we make today. This example is embedded in shale, with trilobites in them, making the prints over 200,000 years old. Another is a shoe print in petrified rock, in the Nevada desert, estimated to be 200 million years old. The second question relates to whether or not giants really existed on Earth. There seems to be quite a few pictures on the internet today that are showing scientists digging up huge skeletons. Even the Bible mentions giants on several occasions. We have to be careful of some of these images though, because they can be photoshopped and faked fairly easily. For example, this image was submitted to a Photoshop contest and won third place. These two are also hard to determine if they are real or faked. To get more reliable evidence, we may want to go back to some of the news articles from the 18 and 1900s that documented stories and showed images of skeletons. Here are a few of them. Apparently, the problem comes when trying to verify their existence, as all of the giant bones have gone missing. Were they removed and put in some secret location, in order to hide the truth from humanity? Or were they false images, with news reports that were faked at that time? It is quite amazing, when researching the subject, you can find pictures and reports of giant skeletons ranging from 10 feet to 36 feet high. The third question was about elongated skulls. Elongated skulls are being found all over the world, and some researchers swear they are the smoking gun of alien visitations. That is until archaeologists started talking about cultures that bind their heads, causing their skulls to grow in this fashion. Yet some of the skulls do not have the typical cranium bones that humans are supposed to have, to allow their skulls to grow. There have been hundreds of these skulls found all over the world, and again, most of them have disappeared and cannot be subjected to any kind of testing. The fourth question was about whether alien spacecraft exist or not. The first one that comes to mind for most people is the Roswell incident, in 1947. We have been hearing about it for over 70 years now. Most people find it kind of odd that after the military announced they found a crashed alien spaceship, the next day they retracted it and said it was a weather balloon. The person who originally confirmed it as not being something from Earth was very knowledgeable in the area. But they forced him to say he made a mistake in a major news briefing the next day. They wanted people to believe that this man, in an area of his own expertise, was unable to determine the difference from a weather balloon and a downed, advanced alien aircraft. So this was the beginning of a cover-up that still lasts to this day.
Another one is the Phoenix Lights. Hundreds, if not thousands, saw it, and then it was discredited by having someone dressed up as an alien during a news briefing where they joked about it, trying to make it look like a ridiculous idea. I think there are a number of fake sightings and photoshopped images and videos out there, so we have to be careful again in what we believe. There are the ones, though, that have multiple witnesses and pictures taken at the same time that are quite credible. The problem arises when one person fakes something like that and it is exposed as a fake. It often has the effect of bringing doubt to all other sightings as well. And perhaps there are people out there creating fakes so others will not believe in the real sightings, like in the case of crop circles. Number 5. Out-of-place artifacts. Throughout history, out-of-place artifacts are some of the most convincing examples of advanced technology found in places underground where there would be no way of getting them there. Many are found embedded in coal, or in caves that have been discovered in underground mines, and even ones that are in petrified rock. Some have been estimated to have been there hundreds of thousands of years before humans were supposed to be walking on Earth. Perhaps the history we know about humanity is completely wrong, and scientists are mistaken. However, even when these artifacts are discovered, they often disappear and history remains unscathed or unchanged, like they never existed.
For the most part, when suppression occurs in archaeology, it only needs a few scientists in collusion with each other, and an adequate news source to hide the truth. For example, we should all at least suspect that free energy is another area that is hidden from humanity, and advancement in this in itself could be the single most important discovery in modern history. It really could change the world for the better, and prevent much pain and suffering, especially for third world countries. So how much do we know is really the truth, when it comes to things that really matter, and why are some of these things being hidden from us? What conspiracy theories are real, and which ones are not? Wouldn't it be nice to have the truth all the time, and know how to move forward in a positive direction when we do have it? Is humanity ready to learn the truths hidden by the illusions we have been subjected to for thousands of years? How will we embrace it when it finally does come? And can a living God stand by and allow a large portion of humanity to be led to accept things that are not the truth? While you are on this journey, what we just talked about are only some of the things we will find out through the one true source, and that is God. The question you have to ask yourself now is, how important is the truth to you, and how much passion are you willing to put forth in your life to find it? Have you noticed that in the past 5 years or so, it seems that truth does not really matter for a growing number of people anymore? 10 or 20 years ago, when one was caught in a lie, it was a very bad thing. These days, especially in politics, It's a common practice, and an acceptable part of life, that filters down to society in general. What do you think is the downfall for believing or accepting something that is a lie? We may not know it, but in reality, it has a propensity to cause many cultures to have spiritual confusion. And when we are in spiritual confusion, we are devolving spiritually, and when a large portion of civilization is spiritually devolving, by believing in something that is not true, we are on the wrong path. Even if we do not know something is a lie, deep down in our soul, we know the truth. If our soul knows the truth, and our own reality believes something else, our soul is fighting with our reality, and we are in spiritual confusion. And if only some already know the truth, and others don't, then we as a civilization are at odds with each other, causing the divides that are so prevalent in the world today. That is why we focus so much here, and talk about how God and the angels want us to know the truth. For if we do not, we will not be able to make the changes for spiritual growth and spiritual evolution that helps humanity move forward in a direction that God wants us to go. So that's it for the introduction. Now we are going to review the next part of Victor's Sentinels of the Future video. This is part 2 of 4. In part 1, we left off with Victor saying, part 8 he says, take a look. Can you fake this? You cannot. You cannot cheat at the library. If you tell a personal lecturer that was in your area, as an easy view, that will assist you if you follow him. In part 9, Victor says, why would you want to tell the readers a tariff will affect some that didn't register? All of a sudden, you will seem aggressive. Obviously, the reason we must help them if they're registering, is we're here to help, who we know. In part 10, Victor says, and if they search for help from the right person, they'll take part and open it up. The trust that will be earned is all needed tomorrow, and simple, okay? It's simple because we all need this help to find truth. If you ask for help, God will know you're having a certain challenge, allowing stress in your life. Now let's hear that part. So the points that Victor made in that last part was getting help from someone helps you to gain trust in others, and if you need help, all you have to do is ask. In the same way, if you need help from God, all you have to do is ask for it as well. There are many ways God can help you, most of which come with a change spiritually in your soul. Some of those answers could be a dream or vision, reading or hearing something that makes you understand what the solution will be, or even something that can bring you more faith and belief in yourself and God. In part 11, Victor says, I've got some real news events you're not going to be afraid of, that carefully will challenge life. And we felt this project, in a way, was obstructed then by evil. www.budgieresearch.homestead.com, Ryan's old website. The world's first bird to start connecting, at that time. In time, Ryan will approach the world with this formula that moves them. All of us, eventually have seized the right of intervention. He believed us. We know he found this and it's real.
.com.
The last part needs some explanations. Victor is talking about an event that happened after his death. Ryan had an extensive website that was corrupted, and it was called www.budgieresearch.homestead.com. He had to take it down, because it was hacked so bad, he had to start all over again. So, Victor for the Angels is making a point that even the angels felt the loss, and knew that Ryan would need help to continue, and they needed his intervention to start over again. They asked for Ryan's help, and he asked for theirs, so even the angels say they have to seize the right of intervention even from humans at times. In part 13, Victor says, In the bricks of time, some might mock him. He'll talk of quantum time after. We are backing the notion of Ryan's quantum thoughts on dimensions, when we dream. Part 14. Then Ryan speaks in forward mode. And in reverse Ryan says, offset emotions are always hard. Relief is now easily available here as wanted, and helping.
Good boy. You don't bite hard. Good boy. People see you on TV, they're gonna say, oh, Victor's so beautiful. Oh, it's an TV. Now we so be.
That last part had some prophecy in it that happened after Victor's death as well. Ryan did not really start thinking about the quantum aspects of what was happening until 10 years after Victor died. Since then, he has termed phrases such as biological quantum communications and quantum reversal, and researched the quantum possibilities quite a bit. Ryan also has many theories that talk about how the dream world, the quantum world, and the spiritual world are all closely connected, and part of what is happening here. He even did an intense 10-year study into dream interpretations, where he was able to channel the spiritual world, using people's dreams. In the next part 15. Anthony talks in forward mode and Victor laughs and says, Anthony dreams too. Ryan says, I call it passion. Then Victor says, and you are reversed? Then Anthony says, in our help hearing this part in reality. We've got to use it. I will happily use it, then Victor says, and have a really good life. Part 16. Victor laughs and says, I must be drinking some. There's a beer in front of me. Because my laugh is a bit spooky, I got to turn it to a fart. The progress Ryan has seen is a miracle. He'll know that there's a reason, because he's doing it so much better.
I think when he goes, I think he's flattered when he coughs like that, eh?
He's happy, okay.
Ja, das war inderdaad looking at me.
In that last part you could hear how Victor, Ryan and Anthony were all interacting spiritually in reverse. Because it is reversed, for this to happen on our dimension of time, we would have to know what the other person was saying before they say it, as well as being able to interject and finish sentences the other has made. So this is only another example of how quantum interaction is taking place. You also heard Victor laughing. This not only showed how excited and happy he was, but his sense of humor. Believe it or not, God and the angels have a sense of humor as well. They will often demonstrate it as part of the joy of life, being role models for humanity. They'll show us how we were created in the image of God to have joy, laughter and fun as part of our spiritual evolution. Now we will end this part. There is still much more, in the next 2 parts of Sentinels of the Future. In them, Victor talks about why the angels are communicating to us now, alien life forms, and other spiritual beings. We hope you will join us then.